Shalom, Hebrews. A little bit different format this time, but wanted to cover this a little bit more depth. I was looking into this, Gog and Magog. Now, I found an interesting connection with Gog and Magog, or Magog with Ephraim, 10 lost tribes. And if you've seen my other videos about Magog, we've basically covered this plenty here. Watch the Tartarian conspiracy, but there's a very strong connection with Magog and the Tartars, or Tartarian, okay, conspiracy. And so, I was looking into this prophecy in Jeremiah 31, the restoration of Israel, talking about, after their captivity, obviously. Some interesting language or wordage I saw interesting, or similar with this in Ezekiel 38, talking about Magog. So, okay, so Mount Ephraim, okay, and I will bring them from the north country, gather them from the coast of the earth, and bind blind and lame, all that. And a great company shall return. Okay, so it's obviously the restoration of Israel. But look at this. Okay, talk about Gog and Magog here. Look at this. And there shall come out of the place, out of the north parts, a great company. Okay, so there's this very similar language, and this phrase great company doesn't happen all that often in the Bible. But same language there used. So now let's look into this. There's a Rosicrucian manual here, okay? Let's look at the, okay, so right out of the horse's mouth here, the Tartarian, proving in all probability that they are the Israelites, or the 10 tribes. Interesting. Okay, guys. Fascinating. Okay, so then, and that was page, let's see, 287, but look at this on page 176 of the same book. The double pyramid, or the X, which is a cross, okay, so 10 in Roman numeral, right? The mystic marks signifying the two principles, water and fire. Now, obviously, these are what? Jacob and Boaz, right? The union of which intersecting triangles forms the famous, wait for it, guys, surprise, surprise, Hex Alpha, or Solomon's seal, or the wizard's foot. Wow. So the 10 horns of Revelation, or the 10 toes in Daniel 2 or 7, chapter 2 or chapter 7, become 6. Or it would be 7 if you had the seal of Solomon with the dot in the middle, right? So this is obviously church and state separated, priest and king separated, the 10, and then the Hex Alpha or Solomon's seal becomes priest and king under one office, or 7, 6 or 7, right? Subtract 3, you get 7. So this is Solomon's seal is them under one office. So we all know, okay, so you had the 10 horns, 10 crowns, and became 7 heads. So there you go. That's what's really going on. I've covered this in my other videos about the whole priest and king and the beast, why it's uprooting 3 horns. It's more than just the 3, the Ostrogoths, the Vandals, and the Heruli or whatever. It's more than that. It's priest and king under separate offices, and priest and king under one office. Those are the 3 offices it's uprooting. But anyway, so there's this idea. Okay, so we've covered this plenty. Okay, Magog is right in between. Guess what, guys? The Black Sea and the Caspian Sea. Caspian means white, so it's right in between the white and black squares on the checkerboard. So it's a synthesis of the 2 offices, or the king of the north, king of the south. This is synthesis of the black and white, priest and king, Masonic checkerboard, however you want to say it, offices. You see that? So it's naturally Magog is going to be right in between the 2. Okay, guys? Hopefully you can understand that. So that's the Caspian and Black Sea. That's another way of saying it. Okay, guys? So, now in Islamic lore, Magog is, it's said the giants or whatever drink up an entire lake. Well, guess what, guys? There's a lake called Magog, okay? Quebec. Look up Quebec. Actually, before I hit that, I want to show you something else. Okay, our Israelite Origins, 1840 by John Wilson. Look at this, guys. It's talking about the migration of the tribe of Dan and the tribe of Ephraim. Well, guess where they go? Well, Dan goes to Scandinavia, and the Danes, whatever you want to say. And then the Swedes worship a brazen bull. They were some of the first to do it, apparently. And then Ephraim, is it on this? It should be right on the same page. It's going to say that Ephraim went to the English countries as well. So maybe I saw a different... Okay. Okay, well, anyway. And then look at the origin of Britain, guys, is Beirut. Okay, Lord of the Covenant, Baal Beirut. Hang on. Okay, which only was probably fabled. Beirut, in fulfillment of an ancient covenant, Beirut and Britain were most likely related and very intimately in times of old. Okay, guys. So let's look right here. Britain had its name from King Brutus. It's not likely that such a person ever ruled Britain, but it's quite possible that Beirut was really the name of the power which first colonized Britain. The colonization of Britain held sway here. So, there's a very strong connection with Britain and Beirut, okay? Within the mysteries, obviously the king lines, Hammurabi's king lines went to the, they had the Stone of Scone, but they had Stonehenge, right? And then you have American Stonehenge. So after they went to Britain, then you have American Stonehenge in Salem, New Hampshire. So that's the king lines, right? Anyway, so, and then in the same book, you'll see that Ephraim went to the English-speaking nations is Ephraim. I don't remember what page it was on off the top of my head. Anyway, look into that if you're curious. So there's this lake, going back to this whole Magog thing, called Magog, Memphre Magog, and it gets its name, obviously, from Magog. And it's right on the border between, obviously, America and Canada, or the synthesis of the two. Now, Quebec is obviously going to be French. Now, the way it works was, who was supposed to get the birthright was Reuben, France, with the fleur-de-lis, right? That's the water lily on the Reuben logo, or sign, I should say. But anyway... Then the birthright, since I think, Reuben slept with that harlot or whatever, or his father's concubine, I think it was, he's unstable as water, the birthright went to Joseph instead, okay? I'm not talking about the king line. Well, the king line went to Judah, but then the birthright went to Joseph or Ephraim or Manasseh, okay? So you have this idea of this lake. And, of course, with every lake, it seems like, deep lakes, they have a Memphre, or this is called, it's a Loch Ness Monster. Where's the Loch Ness Monster, guys? Let's look into that. It's obviously going to be the Scots. That's where its origins are. Oh, Scottish Rite. Think about that one, guys. And obviously, this is a Leviathan, Levi plus Thani, fire, water, fire, dragon, water and fire. Think about it, guys. Strange fire called down from heaven, the Leviathan, Levi fire. So it is Levi plus Thani, or a water dragon, guys. All right, so there's this lake called Memphre Magog, and it has a water dragon called a Loch Ness Monster, or a Leviathan. Okay, so now, the Battle of Gog and Magog in Revelation, I know there's one in Ezekiel and there's one in Revelation. The one in Revelation, there is the new heaven and new earth. There was no more sea. Interesting. Obviously in the Bible, sea could be peoples, nations, multitudes, or the water coming out of the water dragon's mouth, guys, is what? Hydra. Master Mason's truth as a sun passes Hydra, the great snake, according to Manly P. Hall, right? So this mystical water fire, the static electricity, kundalini, whatever you want to call it, is coming out of this Loch Ness Monster. Okay? And so, which also happens to be this lake. Right? Connect the dots, guys, and you'll see. So, I'm hoping you're starting to really see what I'm trying to spill out here. So, the identity of Gog and Magog on the eastern wing would be you could say the Tartars, Russia, whatever you want to say for those people who like that boat, but then it's the Ephraim or the Okay, look at that. Magog, Quebec. So it's on the western, it's the Ephraim or the 10 lost tribes. Both cases, it's the 10 lost tribes. It's either Magog or Ephraim, guys. East or west wing, it's the same dang thing. So I think here's another map of it for Magog. Very old. They say so perhaps it had its origin in the native locals, but then you also read, it'll definitely say it got its water probably or the name from the biblical Magog. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that. The identity of Gog and Magog, finally.